Hi, welcome to the Candy Channel. Today I'm back in Lancaster, Pennsylvania after spending 2 candy channels in Maui. So I'm having some time adjustment issues and some, what's that called? Loneliness for Maui. I felt very connected to the island. So I love Lancaster. I'm sitting outside today and I'm very grateful. So today on the Candy Channel, I have some questions that came through, and if anybody has questions, please post them below as the show goes on. I did want to share with you that if you want to ask private questions before the show like these individuals did, you could go to info@sacredsoulmap.com. I believe that's right, and my assistant will be loading that information below. So to get started, first I wanted to say, if you have anything that, if you want to be informed about some things that I have up and coming, like I have a special for Mother's Day, please go to sacredsoulmap.com, www.sacredsoulmap.com, and sign up for my free meditation so that you could start utilizing and tapping into your infinite power within, as well as getting some messages about what's been going on and what offers that I have for all of you. So with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm live here. Yep. And I wanted to go into some of the questions. The first question says, "Hi Candy, congrats on your new show. 2018 has gotten off to a challenging start, both personally and professionally. All those heartfelt distractions that made me feel like I was spinning my wheels in one place. What should I learn and apply from the impact to the future of my business?" Let's see what's going on there. Okay, they want me to go back over the words because this is really interesting. The word, all those heartfelt distractions. The word distractions is kind of part of the answer. It wasn't really distractions. That situation that was personal was part of the lesson. So you ask the question, what am I supposed to learn? What should I learn and apply from the impact to my future business? The lesson was about the personal side, not so much the professional side. While the guides are showing me how there is an off in the equilibrium of the business because of the personal situation. So what they're showing me is this. If you're driving in a car, and remember those old stick shift cars, and sometimes it'd be like, it would like start to shut off and stall, and you had to learn quick which gear to get it in to shift before it stalled, because then if you were uphill, you'd start going downhill. And they're actually showing me that analogy. The personal, heartfelt distractions were the lesson, because that's where the real pulse of your life is. While we need money for food and for shelter, you have more. They're showing me that you have more in your life than most. There's a deep love in your life that's phenomenal. And this lesson was to appreciate what really is in your life, and to let go of things that don't matter. Now, they're not saying business doesn't matter, because of business, of course, keeps food, on the plate and the family. But they're also showing me a scene from Apollo 13. There's a movie from Apollo 13, and they find out that they can't get the people back from space. There's something going on. I forget what kind of a challenge they had. But the solution was to take everything out that they had inside Apollo 13. I'm here, Kim. You could put a question below if you like. So I'm answering a question that somebody previously put in, and they're showing me Apollo 13 and how all the engineers had to rush into a room and configure a way to somehow bring the space shuttle back up to warmth, and in order to project it so that it could come back around and come back to orbit, which, by the way, was successful. So they want you to look at your life, kind of like putting all the supplies, all the things that you do have in life right now on the table, and reviewing strategically what things are the most important to deal with, how to deal with them, and what is first, what is second, what is third. The personal challenge, grabs. The personal challenge or the distraction is actually part of the lesson, as putting that as the priority. All else builds around what's happening with the business. The other thing about examining, the contents of the spaceship, which is the contents of your life, is I also feel like a potential downsizing is important. I don't mean sell the house, sell the car, but I do see that there's things that need to transition, and that was the other lesson. How to spend less, be more efficient with money. I'm trying to think what else they're trying to say. Spend more time with family and really take inventory. That's the word that they're showing me. Inventory of your life and what you do have. Because what this person has, they're showing me, is a lot of great things. So the business, while necessary, take a new perspective. I was watching the Dead Poets Society with my son this weekend. Thank you, Kim. Been on that path. Kim says, I totally agree. I've been on that path. I was watching Dead Poets Society, and one of the things Robin Williams, the professor at the school for boys, did was he had them stand on the desk. And he said, do you guys know why you're doing this? And he said, to get a new perspective. And so to the question that I've been asked about business and personal life and the challenges, they're really showing me about taking inventory, learning what's important, standing on the desk, gaining new perspective, and learning that the personal life is the most important priority. Getting the space shuttle back home is definitely the priority here. So even if you have to work out, is this the right business for now in your life? I feel like there was, for the business, I feel like it was in a little bit of an Apple spin. If any of you have a Mac computer and you go to save something and you just start saving it and you've written a lot and all of a sudden it goes into the Apple spin, that means you might have to shut the computer down without being able to save that work. So I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater regarding your business, but part of the lesson is going to be taking the inventory and creating the priorities of how you're going to handle what's coming in your life next. So I hope that answers the question, and I hope it makes sense. So the other thing I want to talk about, since the question was asked about what should I learn and apply from the impact to the future of my business, I just want to briefly, I have a couple more questions here, and I'm waiting to see if anybody else has questions that are coming up in the feed. But I do want to talk about a little program that I have. It's already started. I have 5 or 6 enrollees, and I can only take up to 8, possibly 10, but that's the most that I'll go. And I do recommend thinking about this particular program for your business, because right now I really see that particular person that asked this question, I see them having to do a reevaluation of their business for right now. And what we do in this Clear Insights program that I've developed is it's working with female entrepreneurs that are change makers in this world, and to release the blocks that we have in moving forward, getting insight and wisdom from your guides individually each month for 6 months. And we're going to do a group session about learning some strategies that multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs are using in their business. And I know this because I was taught this with these people, and I see them on Facebook in their lives using these strategies. And I had this like, oh my gosh, like, why am I not sharing this more? About learning the identity of your business and how it impacts your life. And that is one of the lessons that we're going to learn. We're going to have 6 lessons, 1 each month. We're going to have 6 healing sessions to release blocks. And then as an individual, you'll get 6 individual readings during the course of a 6-month transition in your business for high-performing women. So I kind of want to put that little plug in there because the question was asked, and I think it's really important for this person to have some guidance and support as she moves forward with some very big decisions that she's going to be making about her life and her business. So I don't want to just give an answer and then leave you stranded. I'd like to provide additional support and ongoing support. So that's that question. That's question number 1. So question number 2 is a previous client, and she sent me a text message for the show today. And she said, should I try to salvage what is left of this relationship or allow myself to move on? So let me just look at this a bit. Okay, thank you, guides. So they're showing me a stock market. Oh, my dog just tried to get up on a box and didn't make it. So poor little guy, poor little girl. But you know, a stock market that's going up and down and up and down and up and down. Whew, I'm like almost overwhelmed with this relationship because it follows these patterns. They're also showing me the Chinese stock market. And I just had a conversation with somebody the other day. They had 100 yen, a million yen in the stock market. Their friends started to sell when it started to go down. So everybody got emotional, they got out. This gentleman stayed. So he went from 1 million yen to 700,000 yen. Everybody else started getting out. He's like, but what about the 300,000 yen I just lost? If I just hold on to it just a little bit longer, it'll be able to rally. It'll come back because I don't want to lose that 300,000 yen because it went from 1 million to 700,000. Over the course of the last 2 years, that 1 million yen that turned into 700,000 yen is now 300,000 yen. So the strategy he used was if he just held on, that he would be able to recoup the losses. And instead, if he would have taken the $700,000 yen, reinvested it, even if only in a bank account for the moment, he would have saved money. And they're showing me in this particular relationship that it's too volatile. Like if we were an investor in this, it just goes up really high and it comes down really low. It goes up really high and it channels back and forth and back and forth. And for the emotions of this person, it's just too much. I can't say, that your guides are telling you what to do, but I can say that the volatility of this relationship, as far as the health of you as a human being, as a woman, is quite challenging. I actually feel like a bit out of breath. I feel like I was holding my breath, and I kind of feel like I want to cry. And that's not me. I'm processing emotions of this person. If your guides were stock investors in this relationship, they would say, get out now before, like, cut your losses at where they're at, look for new stock. The second thing, which unfortunately is the relationship, the second thing that they're saying about this is the word. They said, look at her wording and tell her about that. So let me see what they want me to look at. Should I try and salvage what's left of this relationship? So as soon as there's masculine and feminine energy in a relationship, when you try to fix something as a woman in a relationship that's not working, that's masculine energy. When we start performing in the relationship from a masculine side of trying to fix something or make something better or hold on to something, it's usually a really good indication that we're in our masculine energy. In a relationship, when a woman is performing in her masculine energy, there's not a flow. Women flow in life. If you ever watch a woman's day, no matter if they're caring for the household or in a business, they're flowy. They're very flowy. Men follow the flow. That's masculine energy. They follow us. They follow our flow. They're the responsible ones for fixing things or making things better. If they don't, we can't, because then we start performing in a masculine role and our flow stops. And that in and of itself is a challenge. So again, your guides can't tell you what to do. They can just look at the perspective of what's currently been happening in the relationship, and it doesn't seem to be sitting well in your body. I wanted to cry. I couldn't breathe for a moment. So that's never a good indication. When I feel like that, when I'm processing the relationship, it's usually a sign that things aren't good for your own self, your own body. You know, you have to be free to heal and move on and take what you need in the quietness of yourself, in the stillness of yourself. So that basically, in essence, is the answer to the question. I wish it were a happier, lighter answer, but it really isn't. The good news about this is your capability as a woman is freaking phenomenal. So what I do see is you being able to, like, literally dust yourself off, reevaluate what's going on, and reestablish what you do want in a relationship. I feel like you have nice, stable energy. I feel like the male part is kind of up and down and up and down. I really feel like his energy isn't balanced. I almost feel like, I don't know if this is a great word to use, but kind of spoiled energy. Like he wants what he wants when he wants it. And even if you try to accommodate that behavior, it never ends well, because it's almost like his needs are kind of irrational. They're not based on keeping things nice and stable and solid, which keeps a lot of upheaval for you. So the good news is you have the ability to recover very quickly, dusting yourself off, taking again inventory. I said that word twice now today in a reading, but taking inventory of what you do have and then building on that. I think that would be really cool for you, to dust yourself off and pick yourself back up, and you will find happiness. This isn't happiness anymore. This is stress, and questioning and wondering and wanting to fix it. Sometimes when we want something so badly, we go left, then we go right, then we go forward, then we go backward, and then we just stand there and it's like, now what to do? So move forward, because you have the ability to do that, and you're being very brave. So, you're welcome. The next question is, will I be moving to New York, starting my business with my significant other, having him have his shop and me having my shop? Well, the one thing I like about this question is the division of entities. The relationship is very nice, but it's very new. And so the dust still needs to settle on the relationship. And I'll answer your question, Kim. So the dust still needs to settle on the relationship. The relationship is still way new. And what the guides are showing me is that savings and planning is a must for both of you. If you go into this too quickly without some really serious planning, and not just for the two of you, but each of you having individual resources of planning. I actually see your business being kind of hooked up with another a gentleman that can support you. And I also see you bringing in a girlfriend that has more stability for the things that you don't like the everyday ball and chain, like making sure your shop is open right at 9 o'clock and making sure all the books are completed. Excuse me. So that's what I see for your side. The woman's asking this question for both a man and a woman in a relationship. So that's what I see. A lot of planning. I see it at least a 3-year endeavor. Inventory of what you have for the shop, how you're going to display things, every minutia and detail, and bringing partners in that are going to help you. A financial planner, somebody to do your books. I see another woman helping you with the business. She doesn't mind the ball and chain as much as you do. One of your gifts is going to be the talent and the excitement and sales. Like, you have all those abilities. The things that I don't feel that you're as strong in is the finance and the ball and chain of a business. Like, a business is a 24/7, 7-day-a-week type of thing. I don't see that being your gift. So you're going to have all those puzzle pieces in place. So that's the answer to your part of the question. The part of the question about your significant other coming along with you, I see his business being a little bit more volatile, because I see his business being a little bit more, I don't want to say seasonal, but I feel the area will be seasonal. So to have a full and permanent shop there might be a little bit more challenging. It can happen, but there's going to have to be some real due diligence about the location. Might not be exactly where you're at. It might be just further down the road a ways in New York. So with that being said, his money and your money should not be commingled in a business, because the energy of his money and your money is very different. And it's almost like if you have really pretty necklaces, like if you have several pretty necklaces and you hang them up in your jewelry box, if you overlap too many more fragile necklaces, when you go to take one out one day, they're twisted and tangled. And then you can't wear them or put them on quickly. You have to sit down and painstakingly untangle them. So they really want you to be very cautious about any commingling of funds, and being very strategic in your planning of your business, because it's going to take 3 years of savings and planning and getting the right people on board to help you. So I hope that makes sense. So let's see this question here. I have 2 business partners in one aspect of my business who I adore. Do you see us continuing to work together? I see the potential. We just tend to work in different ways. But recently we have had some success, and I think it's moving all of us to keep going. Okay, let me look at this, Kim. One of your guides is clapping. Like, literally, I felt like excitement and clapping. Why are you excited and clapping, sweet guide? Yes. So there's a cadence, a rhythm that's starting to happen. And your guide, or whoever's guide this is, potentially the partners as well, they're like, yes, great question. Yes, the energy's good. Please keep going. because I also see this, which I think is adorable. Whoever's guide this is it Kim's or is it the other person? Oh, I never knew that. Thank you. So businesses, when they combine like this, they can have their own guide. So you too, or whomever is part of this business, actually has a guide for the business, which is very promising. I've never seen this before. So when you're able to have your own guide for your own business, can you see the great energy that you're going to have in your business? So I'm super excited for you. So, the warnings. The energies are different, but the energies also balance each other. So, this is like the theme of today's show is the taking inventory. So, sit down and again, be strategic. What benefits do you bring to the business? What benefits do they bring to the business? So, it's the pros and the grows of each of you. What are the things that are the pros in this business and where are the grows in this business? What else do they want to say? When you do this, share it with the other partners, and then come up with a game plan. Just like the previous business I was talking about, that person, the other person, I'm not talking about you right now, but the other person, that they didn't like a ball and chain. You know, they don't like that 9 to 5 and then go home and do the books. And then like this person was used to a life that had a lot of freedom. And now she wants a ball and chain business, you know, a shop. A mortared business is very ball and chainish. So that's not her gift. So I want the two of you or the three of you to really look at the pros of each person's personality and the grows. And once you find, like right now, I'm even feeling like I'm breathing in a cadence, in a rhythm. Like I feel like the air is coming in, the air is going out very rhythmically. So I like that feeling in my body because that means that can be the feeling of your business as it grows. So I'm super stoked for you about this. Keep it going. I see there's about another year journey before you're going to see like the profit centers really hit. And it's all going to be contingent on awareness, on bringing this into awareness. I'd love to do more work with this business because I see it could pop really quickly. Releasing the blocks, getting a lot of clarity, and learning some of the $1 million strategies that I'm going to be teaching in the Clear Insights program would really be a good fit. It's a very reasonable price too for the type of exponential growth that it would be able to give your business. I'm not trying to put a plug in for me, but I am putting a plug in because I feel that strongly about it. It would really be a great asset. So good luck, Kim, and let me know, message me if you want any information about how the Clear Insights program runs. It's starting May 1st, so I have about 2 or 3 more slots, and I have interviews with some people to see if they're a good fit for the program. So heart-centered, I love that. I love heart-centered businesses. That's who I work with, heart-centered business entrepreneurs, high-performing women that are the change makers in this world. I feel very passionate about being able to work with them. So is there anything else, guys, that you have to say? Yes, they have one more thing to say. Let me go pick what they said to pick. Hold on a second. Last but not least, they have a message for everybody. Everybody that will be listening to this or is listening to it. Thanks, Kim. So I have a little story, and this is for everybody in your business and in your life. And this is really significant to be heard today. One time I was reading a magazine and it had beautiful flowers. I mean, stunning, like white background type of pictures and these beautiful images of flowers. There was a picture I absolutely fell in love with. I was planning on tearing it out of the magazine, and my immediate thoughts were, I'm going to take this image to Stoffers of Kissel Hill, which is a local nursery, and I'm going to devote some time into helping to groom this plant It was the most beautiful plant I'd ever seen. It was a flower. And the way that the flower looked is, it was so multifaceted. It was just gorgeous. And each of the leaves were like rolled in, and each of the leaves like unrolled into this magnificent color. And I thought, how much money am I willing to spend so that I can have one of those flowers? And I thought, well, I set a price in mind, and I thought, I'm not going to go over that limit. I'm really going to nurture this flower. So I get further into the magazine. I'm like, what's the name of this flower? You're going to laugh when I show you. It was a dandelion. Look how beautiful this is, though. Like, if you look at the actual flowers that aren't yet opened, they're kind of in a, they unfold. They almost like open up like that to sit open. And can you believe one of my jobs, I didn't do much work when I was a little kid in my home. My parents did not, they didn't let me work in the house because they believe people work hard their whole lives, and they were like workaholics, and they waited so long to get me that they really treated me like, my one aunt used to call me the last of the Czechoslovakian princesses. So my dad even called me Queenie. And so, but there were a few assignments that I was responsible for in the home. One was running the sweeper because my mom loved the way I put the lines in the carpet. And the other thing was cutting the grass, waxing the car, and picking dandelions. So as a child, one of my responsibilities was to take the dandelion digger, dig it down into the root, pull it out, and then sprinkle some stuff into that rooted area so that this flower wouldn't grow. So the one thing, I don't know why I'm laughing about this, but the one thing I did quite a lot of was spend time out in the yard digging up these dandelions. And I used to pull into the driveway, you know, after a whole Saturday, sometimes even part of a Sunday, of digging up these damn dandelions. And it's like, why is my dad doing this to me? They were so generous and kind to me. But I think they're all back, you know, like as many as I picked, they were all back. And then move forward one day to reading a magazine and setting an intention that I was going to spend a significant amount of money for a plant that I was going to nurture and grow. No matter what it took, I was going to grow this plant. So there's a couple messages behind this. Number one, listen to your parents, even if they tell you to do something that doesn't make sense. My parents were fine. They were wonderful people. But to appreciate the beauty and everything that we do have and the abundance that we have already in our lives, these are free. God, they're free. The only time they cost you, if you want to get rid of them and you want to have somebody digging them up in your yard and spraying chemicals on your yard. So appreciate the beauty in what you do have today. Even if you don't think it's abundant, it is abundant. These are abundant. They're everywhere. They were free already. So in your life, know that your dandelions can be the most beautiful thing in your life once you see the beauty in them. So see the beauty in you. See the beauty in what you already have. Already have. Sometimes maybe just pick some dandelions and put them in a little cup like I used to do. When I was a little kid, my mom would put them in a little whiskey shot glass. They weren't big drinkers either, but we had a ton of shot glasses. I used to pick little violets at this time of the year and dandelions, and she would have a bouquet on our windowsill all the time because I liked them even when I was a kid, until I started having to pick them out and put weed particles in there to try to kill them. So sometimes enjoying the beauty in life and nurturing what we already have and enjoying and appreciating the flowers that are very abundant in my yard right now. So with that, I'm closing off the Candy channel. If you'd like to see some up and coming programs, I have a Mother's Day special coming up that I'm going to be sending an email about. Go to Angela might have a whiskey shot glass or two. But go to www.candy Soul Ratings or sacredsoulmap.com. It'll be here in the feed. And sign up for my free meditation. If you already know that you want to talk to me a little bit more, I do offer complimentary 30-minute spiritual strategy sessions so you can share what's going on in your life and we can devise a plan. We don't go into the records at that time, but we do talk about a plan or strategy to come up with to help you move forward and where you're at in life. So I'm sending you so much abundant love and light today and blessings from above. I just want to thank the guides that came through today. And something that I learned today is that I realized businesses had their own Akasha, but I didn't realize that they have their own guides, individual businesses. So that's pretty cool. Sending light and love today and always. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks for coming to the Candy Channel.